intro brief. Hello, my name is Patty, and today I would like to talk about Kinnikuman, specifically 5 characters from the Chojin Encyclopedia that never made it into the manga, but I would love to see him make it in the future. For those of you who don't know, the Chojin Encyclopedia is an encyclopedia of the Chojin race, and it goes over a lot of things that I couldn't tell you about because it's not translated. But the Twitter Daily Kinnikuman has started translating it somewhat. So if you want to see what little parts of it he has translated, or she, I don't know, they have translated, then I would highly suggest going over to their Twitter. Uh, I'm pretty sure all these are fan submitted Chojin. If not, who cares? So, number 1 on this list is Giga President. Giga President is a Mount Rushmore based Chojin, and it's fairly stupid, and that's kind of why I like it. I just think it's such a silly concept for an American Chojin to be based off of Mount Rushmore. He's like that one Chojin from America in Nisei who was a sentient burger and his arms were made out of fries. I just That's the stupidest kind of shit, and I love it when it shows up in Kinnikuman. Like, I don't even know what you could really do with him. Maybe he'll show up in the newest arc in the manga with all the gods, the Choshins. Comes down, it's like, I am the god of presidents. Trump was an off year for me, not gonna lie. But, and I think that could be funny. Maybe have him, if we ever do another Olympics arc, another Trojan Olympics arc, at the end of the manga, where it's like, here's every kind of Trojan, Justice, Akuma, Perfect Trojan, all of them come together in the friendly sportsmanship of the Trojan Olympics. And Terry Man can finally make it into the Trojan Olympics and not get shafted halfway through by beating Giga President. I think that could be cool. I don't really know what you could do with him. I just want him to show up at one point. Next up is number 4. Number 4 is Kinnikuman Shadow. This guy I can see having a bit more of a plot. Basically, he is a mafia boss, working the underground of Planet Kinniku, and I can see Suguru catching wind of this, or someone tipping him off to this, and him wanting to go in and stop him, as that is someone who is taking advantage of the poverty-ridden areas of his planet and using it to peddle drugs. It's never really stated what he does as a mafia boss. All we know is that he is a mafia boss, but I feel like peddling drugs is something natural. I can even see Super Phoenix getting involved in this somewhat, where Super Phoenix, he grew up in a poverty-ridden area of Planet Kinniku, and most likely would know those places like the back of his hand, and I can see him helping Suguru like that. I'd also just like to see them work together. Um, Also, I wanted to show up for another reason, and that is the fact that he's a street fighter. He's never actually gotten in a ring in his life. It says in his bio he's never gotten in a ring, and he's a street fighter, and I love it when a new character comes in and they aren't just a straight up wrestler. Warsman and Kinnikuman Zebra, I think, are the only characters, and Marvelous from the Perfect Origin arc, are like the only characters that I can remember off the top of my head who aren't just straight up wrestlers. Uh, Marvelous and Ramen Man are not the only characters that are straight up wrestlers. You know what I mean. Their fighting style isn't wrestling, of course. Junkman, of course, isn't a straight up wrestler. He has fucking slabs for arms, steel slabs for arms. But yeah, Marvelous and Ramen Man are martial artists, and Kinnikuman Zebra is a kickboxer. So I just think it's always interesting when a character whose style doesn't revolve around wrestling comes in and they get to fight. So yeah, I think you have a nice setup there for an arc with Suguru and Super Phoenix, and maybe even Super Phoenix taking Suguru's. Because if you remember, Suguru offered Super Phoenix the opportunity to be his royal advisor because he knew that Super Phoenix fucked up, but he wanted to give him the second chance because if he really tried, Super Phoenix could use his power to do a lot of good for the world as an advisor to Suguru. One last thing before I move on to number 3. On the same page as Kinnikuman Shadow, there's 2 other Kinnikumen. Kinnikuman Skull and Unikuman. I don't really know what else to say about them. They're there. I feel like you could have them be lackeys or henchmen, right hand and left hand men to Kinnikuman's Shadow, and probably have a tag fight with Suguru and Super Phoenix. Because a tag fight with those two is something that I feel like everybody wants to see. That is not something anyone would refuse. Yeah. On to number 3. He's Hexagon. And he's a unique character because he's a member of both the Pentagon and Black Hole tribes. So if you're familiar with Kinnikuman, you know of Black Hole and you know of Pentagon, who are 2 somewhat prominent characters. Between the 2 of them, Black Hole shows up but by far the most. But what you might not know is that they're actually cousins. And I've always found that familial relationship in between them interesting because you even get a bit of foreshadowing to it in the original Devil Children arc where Pentagon talks about how he wishes he was in the ring with that guy when Suguru first fights Black Hole, and then you originally think, oh, he just wants to fight Black Hole, but then you get to the Dream Tag arc and it's like, oh no, he wanted to help Black Hole beat the shit out of Suguru. So like, I've always just found the relationship between those 2 interesting. Pentagon does call Black Hole partner a lot, and I just kind of wish they would expand upon the familial relationship between these 2, and how they're like, mainly Pentagon. Black Hole, I feel like we have a fairly good grasp on who he is as a character because he got a fair few fights in the Perfect Origin arc. I think only 2. Yeah, he got 2. I wanted to say 3 for a second, but he wasn't present for the fights in the Japan Stadium on the tree that the man grew. I don't think he was anyway. I don't remember him having a fight at that part. Also, again, just one more thing I wanted to bring up is they do have in canon other family members between them. Pentagon has a brother named Apigon who is made for a crossover between Kinnikuman and a fashion brand that I can't think of off the top of my head, which reminds me of Kinnikuman Tiger, who is the brother of Kinnikuman Zebra, and how he was made as a crossover character between Kinnikuman and a shoemaking brand. So we have 2 characters like that in Kinnikuman, but Apegon is a thing, and for Black Hole, he has relatives called the Bermuda Tree. They're like triplets, and anytime you see them, any art of them that's ever been drawn by you, the 3 of them have always been drawn together. So I can sort of imagine they're like conjoined triplets. Sorry, but since they're sentient black holes, they're like not conjoined physically like normal conjoined twins. They're conjoined like mentally. The 3 of them share one mind or whatever. But yeah, I feel like you could definitely work them in there somewhere. But I think Hexagon would be the best character to expand upon the lore of Pentagon and Black Hole and both of the tribes. And maybe even explain how Pentagon got his time-stopping abilities. As maybe an uncle I could see Hexagon as an uncle because I don't think they would want to just be like, "Hey, Pentagon, here's your dad," or "Here's Black Hole's dad" as the character who shines some light on their family situation. I feel like it would fit better if he was an uncle character. You could still have Pentagon and Black Hole's parents, but I don't know, something about Hexagon, I just feel like he would fit better as an uncle. So number 2 on this list, moving on to number 2, is Warsman Zwei. Not Zwei, Zwei. In fact, he's a robot Shojin made by German scientists as an improvement upon Warsman, as Warsman himself, despite being so strong, he has a very damning weakness of a 4-minute time limit before he starts overheating and just everything goes to shit for him. 4 minutes before a mental breakdown. We've all been there. And I feel like knowing that, the snake bit who had. They didn't make Warsman because Warsman is a naturally born cyborg Trojan, but he was their best warrior. I feel like they had to have known of his 4 minute time limit, and after the end of at the end of his one shot comic or manga, he meets Robin Mask and runs away from Snakepit, and they never try and hunt him down. We never see Snakepit ever again after that. That bugs me a little bit because I don't think Snakepit would be alright with Warsman, who was their best soldier, just running away. I think they would want another Warsman, and so they would make Warsman Zwei. Maybe at the because they were on the side of the USSR, if memory serves correctly, and when the USSR falls, they would have eloped or ran away to Germany, where uh, they could make Warsman Zwei and bring back the good old USSR. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Germany is where Warsman's father, Michael Mann, became a cyborg Trojan, because that's why Warsman is a cyborg Trojan, because his dad was. Anyway, I can see Warsman wanting to fight and destroy Warsman's Zwei, and finally put an end to Snakebit. And I've put an end to Snakebit and just put an end to this disgusting company or militia that tried to abuse his power. Anyway, on to number 1. And this one is cheating. I have no shame in admitting that this is cheating. Because this isn't a character who was even named or even got a bio. Doesn't even show up in a solo shot. He shows up in a group shot. But number 1, my number 1 character that I would love to see in Kinnikuman above everyone else is Buffalo Man's father. If you remember if you remember near the end of the Scramble for the Throne arc, Buffalo Man mentioned how he had a clan, he had a tribe at one point, and how a civil war broke out between that tribe, and now he's the last living member. That's always intrigued me. Something about that. I've always been interested to learn more about the Buffalo clan and what exactly led to their downfall. Was it because Buffalo Man's father, I assume Buffalo Man's father, as they share very similar facial features, was he a bad leader? Did someone betray him? What exactly happened to the Buffalo clan for them to fall and have Buffalo Man be the only living member left? It's always interested me, and yeah, this is cheating a bit because Buffalo Man is my favorite character, and anything to do with his past before he even joined the Akuma Trojan is of course going to appeal to me. So I know it's cheating, but I'm out of every character here, the one I want to know about the most is Buffalo Man's father and the rest of the Buffalo clan. I wish they would expand upon this. I feel like in a lot of regards in the old manga, they were really just some parts they felt like they were throwing things at the wall, like the capillara, the caterpillar rays were like just this thing Prison Man could do, and they could kill any Chojin if they were hit by the capillary cat. If they were hit by the caterpillar rays, and um, now we have a whole arc where trying to stop the Chojin gods from using the capillary rays. I think that's right. Is like the main focus, and Prison Man is even a character in it. So it's like Yude gave this guy this power without really thinking about it. Granted, I don't think they really had the revival in mind, because I doubt they even had Nisei in mind at that point. But yeah, it feels like they just threw shit at the wall to see what would stick, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it was alright, but then you get stuff like the Capillara Rays and the Buffalo Tribe that just really comes out of nowhere, and to this day we've yet to get a follow-up on it. I hope one day, maybe after this arc with the Trojan Gods and the next arc, I don't really know where you could go next. Well, actually, no, the Olympics I brought up earlier. Olympics with all of the Akuma, Justice, and the Perfect Trojans, all of them just working together in perfect unity. I think that'd be cool. A nice little send off if the next arc is the last arc, but I'm only just saying that because I don't know where the story could go after this. You're literally fighting gods. And, so let me just check my script here. Yeah, I have nothing else really to say. It's just Balthamar is my favorite character. I would love to learn about what his life was like before he joined the Akuma Chojin, and I would love to know what his father was like. You know? Also, just a little side note. Um, if you're a fan of Ultraman, you probably know the Ultraman manga Story Zero, which went over the lives of every main Ultraman at that point before the start of their shows. And during the Leo and Astra story in that manga, we learn about their father, Ultraman Ars, who, for some reason, Ultraman Ars gives me, well, Buffalo Man's father gives me Ultraman Ars vibes. I think it's the cape, it might be the hair. I don't know what exactly it is, but it just gives me similar vibes. Anyway, those were the 5 characters from the Chojin Encyclopedia that I would like to see show up in the future of the manga. If you have any shouts, if you've gone through the Chojin Encyclopedia, if you can actually read Japanese and you read the entire thing from page, page to page, I'd like to hear, what characters would you like to see show up? Just, just thought to be a fun video to do. I did have a bit of a, I did think about making this a Tumblr vlog, but then I thought, fuck it, why not just make it a YouTube video, Anyway, so, bye.